23rd of July. Wow. Where's the year going?
I know, we're
That is
halfway through.
just insane. So we hope you guys are having a great weekend.
Yes.
We've had a good week. We've got some good runs in this week, and we're going to try to get to the beach tomorrow.
I know, we keep trying.
We-
It's not as easy as it sounds sometimes.
Yeah.
It's really easy just to run outside, right outside the door.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's nice to go, but, and we're going to talk about it today, doing some variety, because when we do go, we're like, boy, that's actually nice. We enjoy that. But as we all know, sometimes the thought of getting in the car and driving someplace, you're like, it's just too easy. I got enough stuff going on.
exactly.
So, but anyway, we want to keep these short, as we always do. Today we're going to talk about playing the long game, which I think, well, not we think this is why we're doing all this stuff, because we want to keep running as we age gracefully, I should say.
Yeah. And I started later. I didn't start till I was 36, and I took the complete long approach for many, many, many years, almost a decade. Luckily, knock on wood, nothing happened, but completely missed the mark on all of it. And now that I realize, the appreciation of the joy of it, the all encompassing part of it, I've had to completely switch gears and do something different. So I've gone through a lot. We've gone through a lot with things. So we always just want to, this is just our take of what's happened. But I think it's applicable to so many things where when we get myopic and we don't, realize that that's not suiting us the best way. That's not, in the bigger picture of it, especially with health and longevity and all that, we have to look at these short-term goals and make sure that they're all lining up.
Yeah, I mean, this week was a big week for us and for Patty as well, with her been a year anniversary. But we're in this community here, which we talk about, and she does in her daily lives, where people are very active, and their average age is in the 70s. And so obviously we're younger, we're in our 50s. But at the same time, it's inspiring to see these people just either walking, playing golf, playing tennis, and some runners as well. And there's people in the gym all the time, and it is really
in their 90s that are in the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
In their 90s.
So that's what we want for us, which is why we're doing these. We want for you guys as well. We're sharing with you the things that we do so we can stay active and stay healthy and give ourselves the best chance really to play the long game, which is what we're going to talk about today.
With running, and we know running's a high, it's a high impact sport. Not everybody can do it. But all of you guys know, I'm sure you're in with us too. How I feel. It is my stress relief. It is my go-to. It is like my mood changer. I mean, every morning being able to start my day with a run it just changes your days. It's amazing. So now I want to, like I said, switch from the short-term goals. Those are great to have or whatever, but really doing those things that are give me the longevity, because we have to really dial these things in if we want to be running. And you guys we're all master runners. And a lot of us are, senior master runners. So it takes some extra things. So we're just going to address some of those today, so you guys can keep your love for running, and keep it going long term.
Yeah, and we all know how much we all love running. Today was a perfect day. Like, I just didn't feel it, and her talk this morning and knowing we were going to do this, I'm like, nope, I got to do it. And of course, when I got done, I felt amazing. So I just have to laugh, right?
Happen when you don't want to do it, that's for sure.
And there's a good slogan there, or a good phrase there saying, I choose to focus on the things that make me feel good. And I was like, didn't want to do it, but I said, I got to do it, got to push through. And man, I feel good now, right? So as we say each and every week, we're sharing with you research that we do. This is not medical advice. So please take this and
do your own research. This is all just informational things that, like I said, that has helped us, that we hope can help you.
Yeah, and today we want to talk about keys to running and longevity. We want this to be us right here. This image of this older couple running is something that we strive for, and so we want that for you guys as well. Okay. So quick recap. Last week we talked about the keys to overtraining, right? You don't want to overtrain. The things to look out for and then things and how to fix it and address it.
Yeah, these are things that definitely are going to affect your longevity. It can't be breaking you down here. So signs, seeing them early, the fatigue, the soreness, the mood changes, heart rates, there's very specific things. You address these, do some things to mitigate that. That all just goes to reducing the risk of injury and keeping us running.
Right. Do common sense things like do a proper warm up and cool down. Like today, I recognize in the past, we both were good at this, get out and run. Now we recognize we have to stretch and do some dynamic warm ups before and after. I do both stretching and dynamic cool downs, and it does make a difference. It's not that much extra, too.
No.
It's just that little bit of change, and then take some time off if you need to.
Exactly. Knowing and being able to let your ego go and do what your body needs.
Yeah, easier said than done. Easier said than done. So anyway, today we want to talk about, again, the keys to running and really in longevity, because we just want to keep running as we get older, right? So
we just have to, it's just your perception of it. When I first started running, I was racing and marathons. Once I started doing that, I was obsessed with it. And I was doing 3 to 4 a year. I was constantly training, never taking any time off, so myopic and dogmatic about my never missing a workout, never doing that it turned into something that, while I still enjoyed it, I still loved it. It wasn't, when you are doing that much and intently and not really focusing on the bigger picture of it, you wind up missing the mark on a lot. I didn't keep getting faster. In fact, I just got slower and got fatter and all these things but I was just so focused on doing the marathons, doing a longer race, and then more and more and more. And that's just, it's not the way.
It's not sustainable.
It's not.
It's just not, right?
And that's what it always has to be. It can't be breaking you down. It has to be energizing you. It has to become who you are. It is your thing that you do. So
as we talk about, you should be thinking yourselves, this is the way we've shifted our mindset, is we're athletes. We're not just these weekend warriors. We have to think like we're athletes. We're not doing anything professional, but we're trying to eat proper food and get proper exercising. And we use running as our majority vehicle along with strength training as well.
Yeah. And it's not to say that you guys can't have the short-term goals. Last year, I did that. I still have the goal of doing a 4-hour marathon, but I realized that that might take me a couple more years. Last year, I thought it was going to play out that way. But by the time I got to my tune-up race, I realized that mentally it was too much. It was getting faster at the 5K, getting faster at the 10K, doing all this. I thought, giving myself a year almost to do that would be fine. But when it came down to it, I realized that no. But my prior self would have already signed up for that marathon and been like, I'm going to make it happen no matter what. And that's what I would do before. This time I realized that there was some other family stuff going to be going on. There was some added stress. And I thought, no, I didn't stop running. That doesn't mean you have to taking a mental break or a physical break doesn't mean you have to completely stop running. I kept my run streak going. I took my miles back down. I wasn't doing the long runs. I wasn't doing the speed workout. I settled it back down to mitigate the stress that was happening in my life at the time.
Now, again, she chooses to still run every day. You may want to take a couple days off. That's okay, right? Depends on what your goal is. The point is you want to take a long-term view because and we did this from our eras as well, right? So if you just push all the time, you're going to run yourself down, right? And again, common sense, you can't. It's going to be too hard to keep doing race after race after race after race, year after year after year, because eventually you're just going to break down. So you're going to need a little bit of that variety, right? And enjoy the journey and the goal setting, or versus the goal setting, excuse me. So the journey is really what it's about. Like today was a good example for me. Did not want to run. And then I said, okay, I got to go do this. I did just a kind of a slow, steady run, enjoy the scenery for something different, listen to a podcast. And it was just very, very enjoyable. And I gave myself grace, which is kind of why we put this in here, because I could have beat myself up, which is what I did in the past. And I said, no, I'm just going to enjoy it. I was patient, trusting the process. So today, just one of those runs that got in. And I'm glad I got it in because I was able to move and keep going and get my day going. And now I'm in a better mood. And now I'm in a good mindset place.
So as long as you're still out there running, still out there doing it, like I said, you can have those short-term goals. You can do, and a lot of you are doing those races. And that's okay, but it doesn't all have to be like that. It always has to be the enjoyment of it.
Of the process, right? I mean, signing up for a race is great, and then enjoying the process of training for that, looking forward to getting to that race. That's trusting the process, as tough as it is, right? And that's why we have this group. That's why we want you guys to contribute, because it's going to support each of us, right? We say this all the time. We're going to keep saying this. Please post pictures. And it's motivated me and it's inspired me when I see you guys posting pictures. I don't care awesome. What it's a picture of. Like today on my run, there's a still duck and with some mama chicks. And I had to stop it. By the time I got my phone on, I got a bad picture, but I got one. And that was me just enjoying the run today. And something like that, I'll share this later, but if that motivates someone like, one of you guys, then that's good, because you got up and you moved is the whole goal, right?
But it's also not being so, I mean, the workout is this, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to do it. I've got to get this mile in, this, like I said, those goals are great, but don't lose sight of being able to run out and actually enjoy where you're at, see the scenery, stop and take a picture. Before, that was never part of it. It was all just this. So look at the bigger picture. That's what.
So we just kind of mentioned this, but seek some variety, right? So I try some different races, to sign up for different race events. Like she was so against doing anything below a marathon. It was pretty funny.
It was insane. I got to the point, and it's stupid, it's really bad, that if I can do a marathon, I'm not going to do anything below a marathon. And that doesn't even make sense.
Nope.
I did the marathon, then it was the 50K, then it was the 50 miler. And before that, I was like, all right, I guess the next one's going to be the 100K, and then it's going to be the 100. I mean, I was just literally thinking, that is not sustainable. That is absolutely ridiculous. Luckily, doing a 50-mile race was a hard stop of me realizing that, no, I don't want to run any more than that in a day, thank God. But I try to do it with a triathlon. So no, you just sprint. Oh, well, no, you can do this one, then you can do that one. I was going to do a half Ironman, then I was going to do an Ironman the next year. Just like it has to be always something bigger and bigger.
The reality is it doesn't, right? There's nothing wrong with it.
No one was saying that to me. Right. No one was making me do that. For some reason, I just had that in my head. So as runners, we like to push, we like to challenge ourselves. And that's the great part of, of our toughness, but it can go south really fast. So. Yeah.
And again, as we talk all the time, the goal is we're trying to stay injury resilient so we don't get injured. And if you push yourself, push, you're going to put yourself at higher risk of injury, which is what none of us wants, because then you're sidelined like I was over the winter for a little bit. And it was driving me insane.
It does. So if you always do, like I said, now I like training for a 5K. Much easier, much better, harder, because you want to go faster, but it makes you work different things, it just changes things up. So change up your race distances, change up your routes. I know it's easy just to go out like that. I'm 100% guilty of this. Going out, you know exactly how far it is, that distance you go, and just keep doing that. But switching the things up, like I said, we mentioned, we're going to try to go to the beach. We're trying to do that at least once a week. But if you have trails, if you have different, like I said, just doing different different areas or whatever. It really, the variety makes a huge difference.
Right. And again, we all have access to various apps. And if you just look, there's different trail runs, or not trail runs, there's different runs that people have put out there. So do some research and give one of those a try. You'd be surprised at that little bit of change of scenery. It's like when you travel to do something, that little bit of change makes a big difference. Just the change of scenery is a good mental cleanse, so to speak. So that's why we talk about encouraging or changing up your routes and your locations
and your running groups. Maybe if you've never run with a running group, start doing that. Or if you've been running with the same, maybe find a different a different group, and kind of switch things up. Different people bring different things to the table about, experiences and what they've done. It's always good to kind of mix that up. But don't fall in the trap of comparing yourself. I was bad about that.
Very guilty
because in Denver, there's a lot of fast runners. There's a lot of fast runners that were in their 40s. I was in my 40s, and there are some women that were crushing it. Where I ran too, in Mosh Park, and they're zipping past me. And I'm like, wow, if they're my age, they kind of, were pretty similar, but that's insane just to think, because it's like, you don't know where they started out. Maybe they're some track star, who knows, whatever it is. But don't compare yourself to other people, and don't compare yourself to, if you've been running for a very long time, how you ran in your 20s.
Yeah, that is a classic. Don't compare yourself to your younger self. We are all guilty of that in all aspects of life. We are no longer in our teens and 20s and even early 30s for most of us here. So whatever you did then, it's not that you're not capable of doing it today, but if you haven't done things in a while, the odds of you doing it like out of the gate are not good. And you're you don't want to risk yourself for getting injured. So don't beat yourself up. I used to run 10Ks and do 9.5 minute miles. And now for me to run a 10-minute mile for a 10K, I just can't fathom. Now, if I put the training, I can get back to this, but I'm not going to beat myself up because I used to be able to do that.
Yeah. Accept where you're at the moment. And like I said, when it becomes something that's not, like I said, not enjoyable, not for your health, not something that energizes you, not something that, feed your soul as far as, how, like, this is our passion. This is what we do. It has to be part of it. When we start to lose sight of that, and when it starts to be not feeling good when we do it, that's when we have to really step back, reevaluate, and make sure that we're always looking at the bigger picture there.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a solo sport. That's why we encourage people to sign up for events and to share your journey, your training, your process, and try to get some running groups, as we just mentioned. Try to have a running partner. We run solo sometimes, we run together sometimes. So it's nice to mix things up. Whoever signed up for, you guys have all signed up for races. It is so much fun. Just the energy of being at a race, whether it's a 5K, a 10K, it doesn't matter. The energy of a race is so much fun, right? And that's why the last thing here is about why we want to support other runners. We want you guys posting pictures, because look at the positive energy. We see Barbara posting pictures, and it just inspires me. We see Sue posting. We see
her husband are winning their age group. Terry,
Terry, it's so much fun to see all that. Michael, you've been awesome posting stuff. We hope you recovered, by the way. Hopefully you're feeling better. And but yeah, it's awesome to have a great group. And Nikki, you've been awesome as well. So, and we've got people here from all over North America. We've actually had a few people come in from different parts of Europe recently too, right? So we want you guys to post pictures where you're at and just share the journey, share your challenges, and
when you guys can do that for others, like going out and watching a race that you do, supporting, this is why we do it, because it inspires you. When you can do that for other, like your other friends, that are running races, go out and see them. All of these things, just supporting others. It just makes the whole process, the whole journey, the whole thing better. Yeah, it really does.
Exactly. So some last tips here are, obviously
the tactical things that you have to.
Yeah.
that have to be part of it.
We did a whole episode on this, the 80-20 for running. We'll probably come back and do that again because it's so critical, right? But just you think about this and be conscious of that.
Yeah, it is. I've learned now that training smart is where it's at. Doing endless miles, doing certain things are not how to get the best out of it, not to get the best out of your performance, not to get the best out of your longevity, all these different things. So keeping that 80-20, 80% easy. You have to master that easy run. You have to, I talk about this all the time. Everybody talks about this all the time because they finally figured out this is the key, building that strong aerobic base, having that huge foundation. You can't do anything else. This is the main part of it. But as we get older, that is a sustainable part of it. You have to, it's going to be 80, sometimes 90% as we get older. It's probably going to be more 90-10 of 90% of it being easy. The easier runs, not as exciting, not, you're not trying to crush it, kill it, do all this stuff.
But that's okay, though.
This is where you can enjoy that scenery. Run with a friend, stop and take pictures, of cool things that you see. Have it be that keeping your heart rate down, building those capillaries, building that blood flow, building your engine, building that foundation. This is what's going to allow you to, when you do add in that 10% of your long run and your speed workout, whatever that looks like for you, it allows you to be able to do those things without overloading your body, overstressing your body. We do have to manage that more as we get older. Not that we can't do all that stuff, but we have to be, you have to optimize the recovery part of it. Keeping that active recovery, after your long run, still get some movement throughout the day. So it needs to be easy enough to where it's not crushing you and you're having to sit on the couch the rest of the day.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. You want to be able to move around, right? So
easy runs means that it's easy. It should feel easy for you. So you should be able to get that movement later on throughout the day.
Yeah, as we talk as well, you've got to optimize your recovery. Your body recovers when you sleep. The fuel you eat, the nutrition we're taking, which is why we stress this so much. Stretching, the foam rolling, our foam rolls are over here. I did that after my run today. Yeah. Stretching, I now do that every morning because I have to. I recognize if I don't.
Exercise mats out on the floor. It's you just have to. If it's out, out of sight, out of mind. So having it out.
You see it and you just can't ignore it. You just have to look at this, and it doesn't take that long. Sometimes you're like, I don't feel like doing it, but you just do it and you're like, okay, I'm glad I did that. I got it out of the way, but at least you did it, right? And then once you get into it, you can kind of realize, let me focus on that little bit and I'm going to get more out of it.
You absolutely feel better. And the bigger picture as we get older is having the strength to get older, having the strength to still run, but working on that mobility. We have to work on our balance. We have to work on, these are all things that have to be part of our regular routine. If we want to run.
If you want to stay active as you get older, as we just said earlier, we're in this community where people are in their 70s and they're incredibly active. We'll have to take a picture someday of the people out there playing tennis. This morning, it's 90 degrees right here. It feels like, and there are people out there playing tennis right now. Yeah. It's like, and they're in their 70s and they have they have events, everything here. It's awesome, but it's great for their stress management. I can tell you that right now.
So it's all, like I said, it sounds like a lot, but we want to keep our passion going. We want to keep.
Yeah, we do.
You lose muscle. People don't realize you start losing muscle at the age of 30, and you start to lose bone density at the age of 50. So we don't do things to counteract it. Running is a great thing to keep us strong, to keep our heart healthy, to keep all of that. But we have to be strong enough to do it. We have to be mobile enough to do it. We have to do those extra things, the stretching, the foam rolling, the dynamic warm-ups, all those things that are going to keep us healthy.
Yeah, as we said before, her dad, before he passed away a year ago, a month prior, he was still doing his exercises. We have these mats here, and she was making him get down and get up on the floor And he knew if he didn't keep doing that, he was going to eventually fall off. Now, eventually life took his body ran out, but the fact he was doing that at 98, think about that for just a minute. 98.
Yeah.
It was incredibly inspiring.
Still working every day, still doing. I had to make him do his exercises, but he was still doing them.
Days he didn't want to do it, but then he knew that he had to do it. So she, being the coach, would push him, and he was thankful afterwards.
But I don't know about things.
But he knew he needed to do it, right?
But we have to, like I said, you have to. Having goals is great, but being so dogmatic about it, like I was, and so like, this is just what I do. I have to do this. I'm signing up for this. You have to manage it with what is going on in your life. And this is the first time I've been able to have my running every day, have all this stuff, training, and be able to do it in a healthy way. Because now I can let my ego go, run as easy as I need to run. Take that time off. I still have those goals, but I had to, life got a little more stressful, so I had to pause that goal.
And that's okay. That's okay, right?
But we have things that come in our lives, so we have to evolve our training and evolve our goal setting.
Right, exactly, because life is going to evolve, right? As we talked about this the last few weeks, we're going to keep talking about this. Why we have this group is for community, right? Our lives are evolving. The world is evolving. Things are crazy right now in a variety of areas, but we want to have this be a positive environment for all of us to get through the stress that you're dealing with individually, health-wise, in your family, your job, etc. But this is a group to hopefully give you that vehicle to stay positive, control your stress, eat proper nutrition, so you can stay active. And we want to use running as one of the vehicles, the primary vehicle, to keep going.
It is. I mean, it's still, it's my stress relief. It's my mental clarity. It's everything for me. So now I have, like I said, I change what I do so I can keep running and never lose my passion for running.
Yeah. So with that, guys, we will let you get to your Saturday.
Yes. Happy Saturday. If you guys ran today, whatever you did today, have an awesome day.
Yeah. And if you haven't got a running yet, maybe you can get one in this afternoon or maybe tomorrow, but please post pictures here in the group. Absolutely. And for those of you who are not members of the group, watching us on our YouTube page, you could go to Facebook and search for it. It's called Healthy Eating and Lifestyle Secrets for Runners. And you can join us there and you can participate these in a more intimate setting. So thanks, guys. We will see you guys next week.